Hey, Jo Ramsey here. It is May 5th, I think. Yeah, I've lost track of time that badly. I wanted to talk a little bit today or this month about mental health because, I talk about that a lot. But one thing that really has been bothering me lately is I have depression and I have anxiety. I don't make any secret about that. People who, you guys all know because you're watching this video. People who interact with me online usually know, and of course people in my personal life know. But a lot of times, even the people in my personal life who are well aware of the fact that I have those illnesses will say things like, oh, well, you don't need to be scared. There's nothing to be afraid of. Or, I don't understand why you're so sad. Things are going so well for you. Mental illness is an illness. I say this over and over again. I'm going to keep saying it until everybody understands. So if it annoys you, you can, go find cute kitty videos to watch instead of this. But my point is, saying things like that to somebody who has a mental illness is like telling somebody with a broken leg, I don't understand why you're on crutches. You should be able to walk just fine. All you have is a cast on your leg. It doesn't work that way. There might not be anything for me to be afraid of, but anxiety is not the same as fear. And anxiety is completely irrational. I have had days where I've opened the front door of my house about to walk outside and I start shaking, can't breathe, my heart is racing, and I have to close the door and come back inside. There's no reason for it except for the fact that I have an illness. No, there's nothing for me to be afraid of on the street in front of my house. Except for the yappy little dog that lives across the street, because that thing's a monster. But aside from that, and last week I was working on music with my musician friend. We're putting together some songs, and I've been doing some vocal warm-up exercises lately. I had a consultation with a vocal coach. I'll talk more about that next month, but if I remember. But I told him, I'm not actually doing these exercises correctly because I feel really self-conscious about them. And he said, you don't need to feel self-conscious. I'm not going to judge you. No, I don't need to feel self-conscious. But guess what? Me feeling self-conscious has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the fact that I'm me and I feel self-conscious about things. I know this is sounding kind of ranty because this is something that's cropped up several times in the past couple of weeks and it just really bugs me. I've actually had people in the past say to me, when I've been depressed or something, say to me, you don't have any right to feel bad. Other people have it worse than you. Excuse me? That's like saying I don't have the right to need to go to the bathroom because other people don't have indoor plumbing. See how that makes zero sense? Yes, other people have crappier lives than I do. Don't get me wrong. I'm well aware of how fortunate I am with my life. But that doesn't mean that I don't have the right to feel bad. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to feel bad. Somebody else's trauma, somebody else's sadness, somebody else's grief has nothing to do with how I feel. I can sympathize or empathize with them when I can say it really sucks that they have to deal with this. I feel so bad for them. But that doesn't mean I don't have the right to feel the quote unquote right to feel bad. Especially since, as I said earlier in this video, I have depression. It's an illness. It's not something I'm choosing. I don't choose to sit here in tears for hours and not have a bloody clue why I'm crying. If I had the choice, I sure as heck wouldn't be doing that. But even people who claim to have depression themselves or claim to understand have said things like that to me. And I've heard people say it to others. I've heard a child that I knew who was probably 10 or 11 at the time was diagnosed with stomach problems caused by stress. And the child's grandmother, knowing full well what was going on in that girl's life at that time, said, "She's only 11, how could she be stressed?" Oh gee, I don't know, maybe because she's trying to keep her grades up in middle school, her parents are going through a divorce, and she's being bullied. Oh no, but 11-year-olds don't have anything to be stressed about. I'm going to rein myself in before I get way too ranty. Long story short, you don't really have the right to tell somebody else how they have the right to feel. If somebody that you know is sad, if somebody that you know is terrified, if somebody that you know has a mental illness, please think very, very hard before you say to them something like, "You don't need to be sad, you have a great life," or "I don't get what you're so afraid of," or "Well, you don't have any right to feel that way." Think about how you would feel if it were you. Think about how you would feel if you were going through something that you could not control, because make no mistake about it, people with mental illness can manage the illness, but they can't control it just by saying, "Oh, I'm going to control this." That's not how it works. Think how you would feel if you were dealing with something beyond your control and somebody said, "Oh, you don't have any right to feel bad about that," or "Oh, well, just cheer up and stop feeling that way." Be kind, be considerate. Treat other people the way you would want them to treat you if you were in the same situation. And if you're not capable of looking at that situation and realizing that, first of all, their feelings are valid, and second of all, not everybody is you and not everybody's going to react the same way, if you can't do that, then please just don't say anything. If you can't be kind, don't say anything. Like I said, I know this is a really negative, ranty sounding video, and I do apologize for that. There are reasons, and I'm not going to get into why this is hitting this particular button this month. But, you know, just stop and think before you say things like that. If you see somebody who's struggling with anxiety, don't tell them, "Oh, there's nothing to be scared of." Tell them, "I see that you're having a hard time. How can I help you?" If somebody's dealing with depression, don't say, "Why are you so sad? You have a great life." Say, "I can see that you're struggling. Is there anything I can do to make you feel better?" Be kind, be supportive. And now I'm repeating myself, so I'm going to stop here. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great month of May, and I'll see you in June.